for us in the coming weeks, assuming hypothetically that, on Nane becomes successful and Raila quits this marriage between him and Ruto, and it becomes apparent that this will not be able to continue, and this government collapses. Is it realistically possible for us, the movement, the supporters of the movement, whether you're a Gen Z or Millennium or General Alpha, whatever you want to call, is it possible for us to mount a presidential campaign and take over the government through elections? Can we do that? Thank you. Kaden.
It's Katie. James has...
Katie, okay, Katie, sorry.
I hope everybody's fine. James has very good points that I think I like to applaud and just maybe add on some weight on. The thing you're talking about initially was about civic education, and I think the best analogy I got before I get to your question is I was just talking to my mom and my elder sisters, and I told them, I'm from a very spiritual family. I told them most of us go to church, but we don't understand what we do. And that is exactly what is happening to our elder generations. When you look at what is happening, it's not like they don't know what is happening. They just do not understand or see the vision of why it's happening. It's basically you kneeling down to pray and going to church every day, or and not knowing what your course is. So to just like wrap up everything I'm talking about and what you're saying, the best way to just like say reconcile this whole thing is, even if we were to elect a presidential candidate after this whole regime falls, it would not have any difference. It would not bring any difference, because the issue we have is not the systems in place. The issue we have is the people who are in the systems. And the one reason why everything that is going on in the country is how it is right now and for the last God knows how many number of years is because we have had a constitution that is not really being taken heed of, and no one is willing to acknowledge its importance and presence. When my sister talks about America having a very streamlined system, it's mainly because there's a constitution in place that has to be. It's the playbook of the land. And I'm just trying to think of it from the perspective of, okay, so this regime falls, and then we say, for instance, Eric is our presidential candidate. What is going to make you any different from not falling in the same trap that has been what has been for the last 30 or so years? Or maybe you have very good intentions, but you still have people in the regime who are so much used to seeing things done in a certain way, because it's a culture. Well, what James was saying, it's a culture that we live in that we have to change and say, this has to be a very different way of life for people to understand that if I go to Nya House and I want service XYZ, I don't have to give something for me to be served. And it has to be something that is instilled in us, such that even if I try to give, the receiver will be like, I don't think this is the way it should be. Or if there is the person who's serving me says, leta kitu kidogo, I'll have the confidence and conscience of saying, I don't think I'm eligible to actually pay you for you to give me the service, because it's a service I have a right for. And that is one rot that we have, that really getting rid of is a culture. When you talk about, I can't remember who was talking before me when he says, a lot of desperation. I don't think we are going to make it in 2027 because the players are the same, the people are. It's mainly because we just don't have the confidence in the constitution. That's why we even have the mindset of, it doesn't matter if I vote, because even if I vote, wataiba. Why? Kwa nini juu? That is the mindset we've had, and that's the mindset when I speak to my mom, she has, because anasema, si tumekuwa hapa, we are trying to do this, they do this. Tukifanya hivi, wanafanya hivi. Tukisema tufanya hivi, we are silenced. And why the Gen Zs have really come out to be so much of a subject is because they got to a point and said, no, this is just too much. We cannot go by this anymore. For the fallen soldiers, even those whom have not been identified, the people who are missing, it's mainly because they just said, no, we've had enough of this, and I think it just has to end. So if someone would ask me how I would actually do the civic education, the first question I always ask anyone who's older than me is, do you have a constitution? Yes, no. Do you understand? Then you actually go ahead and just like say, we were talking about minerals. Kuna mahali in the constitution you'll find it talks about minerals, and you can go and just explain to the best you can. And all of this information actually very well laid out on online, that even if I don't have the information, I can be talking to you as I read, and I may not be as clear as I want to, but I'll kind of like say get to send the point home for you to understand what I'm trying to bring across. Now, there's something you talked about media that I think I'd want to just touch on before I drop the mic. The question they were really asking was, I think I posted on the whatever was, did they die in the Mandamano? And they just left it at that. And media has that a lot because that is how they create suspense for you to actually keep on going or create that conflict of interest. And then wako side yao. And if you watch CNN, you can watch CNN like for the whole day. As one story can be covered from 9 a.m. to midnight. They just keep on adding on a little spices just to make it look like it's a developing story. So I think what they were trying to paint was, hatujui kama waliuawa siku ya maandamano ama it's the people who were abducted and then eventually were shot, that we do not have a trail of getting to know the places where they actually gave up their last breath, that they ended up in the mortuaries, which is also something we also need to know when you talk about, I think it's Article 26 or 27 in the Constitution of Sanctity of Human Life. Just get to understand and explain to everyone. Hata ukienda mortuary uambe tuletewa mwili, do these guys who receive the bodies get to know that you have to actually get the right information so that in case any of the kins come, they can find the unaambiwa mimi sijui mwili iletopo ni kama gunia ya viazi, then whoever brought and whoever receives, that is up to them. You know, it's just basically, in very simple words, if we can just give our constitution the claws and the fangs to be able to grip hard, so that the leaders who violate the citizens who go against the law of the land, all regardless of class or whatever, will get to face the arm of the law. The IEBC will know, okay, I'm sitting in as an official for the elections and whatever, but I have to do my work as per what is expected of me as from the Constitution. Other than that, it doesn't matter even if we say we're bringing in the most holy saint in this regime, because everyone comes in and then they say, no, you have your way, but I have my way of doing things, so you have to go by vile mimi nataka. You guys cannot tell me how to get things done. I think I'll leave it at that. And anyone who has any points to whatever on can maybe shed some light for me to see if there's anything I missed on or I may not have gotten right. Thank you.